The first week after installing the cameras was uneventful. The front camera caught delivery drivers, neighbors walking their dogs, kids riding bikes after school, and the occasional rabbit wandering across the yard at night. Exactly what you'd expect. Then one morning, while drinking coffee before work, I opened the app and noticed a motion alert from 2:47 a.m. I assumed it was another raccoon. Instead, I saw someone standing perfectly still at the end of my driveway. The infrared camera made everything look black and white, but I could clearly tell it was a man. He wasn't walking. He wasn't looking around. He wasn't even moving. He was just standing there. The clip lasted 30 seconds before ending. During the entire recording, he never took a single step. I showed it to my wife. She laughed nervously, and said maybe someone was drunk and stopped to catch their breath. It sounded reasonable enough. Until the next night. At almost the exact same time, another notification came through. 2:51 a.m. There he was again. Same spot. Same posture. Same complete lack of movement. This time he stayed there for nearly 2 minutes, before slowly turning around and walking back into the darkness. His face was impossible to make out. The following morning I walked down to the street, hoping maybe there were footprints or something unusual. Nothing. A few neighbors had cameras too, so I asked if anyone had seen somebody wandering around overnight. Nobody had. One neighbor even checked his own footage. The strange part was that his camera should have captured the same man walking down the sidewalk. It didn't. His recording showed an empty street. That bothered me more than seeing the man in the first place. A week passed, without another alert. I convinced myself I'd overreacted. Then Saturday night happened. Around 11, my wife went upstairs to bed, while I stayed downstairs watching a baseball game. Sometime after midnight I heard my phone buzz. Motion detected. Front porch. I opened the app. Without really thinking. The man wasn't at the driveway anymore. He was standing on my porch. Only a few feet from the front door. He was facing directly toward the camera. I couldn't see his face, because he wore a baseball cap pulled unusually low. His hand stayed behind his back. He remained completely still, for nearly a minute. Then, without knocking, he leaned toward the camera. Not the door. The camera. As if he knew exactly where it was mounted. He smiled. Then the screen filled with static. When the picture returned, 3 seconds later, he was gone. I grabbed the baseball bat I kept beside the couch, and looked through the front window. Nobody. The porch was empty. I checked every room before waking my wife. Neither of us slept that night. The next morning I called the camera company's customer support thinking maybe the signal had glitched. The representative reviewed the system logs. Everything looked normal. There hadn't been any connection loss. According to them, the camera never stopped recording. It simply recorded static. A few days later I installed another camera overlooking the driveway from a different angle. If someone came back, I'd have 2 recordings. That decision probably saved us. 3 nights later both cameras detected motion. The driveway camera showed the man walking toward the house. The porch camera never recorded him arriving. It only showed him already standing at the front door. Almost like he'd appeared there. The timestamps matched perfectly. One camera watched him cross the yard. The other never captured that part. It skipped straight to him standing inches from my front door. I finally contacted the police. An officer watched every recording. He agreed the behavior was disturbing but said the man hadn't committed any crime. He suggested leaving the porch light on overnight. That was the last time we ever saw him. At least, that's what I thought. Nearly 6 months later, I was deleting old recordings to free storage space. As I scrubbed through an afternoon clip of my kids playing basketball in the driveway, I noticed something that froze me. Inside our front window, standing in the hallway, was the same man. He wasn't outside. He was inside my house. The timestamp was from a Saturday afternoon, when my entire family had been at my parents' house, over an hour away. The police searched every inch of our home. No signs of forced entry. Nothing stolen. Nothing missing. To this day, I still have no explanation for how that image ended up on my camera. I deleted every recording from that week. Sometimes, I wish I hadn't.